is it black mat? Because I get some sound off of that.
Hi. All right, everyone, 2-minute warning for you to find a seat. Make sure that you or your neighbor has a booklet that y'all can share. It looks like we have more than 20 people, so that's great. That's what we needed. Thank y'all for being here this morning and for taking your part in the council of the parish. Give y'all just a minute to settle in. This collar always feels a little bit tighter during the parish meeting for some reason. That's why that is. Yeah, right. All right, good morning, St. Columns. Y'all settle in and let's get ready to move forward with our parish meeting. I want to welcome everyone to the 2023, can you believe it, annual parish meeting of St. Columns. Thank you for being present, whether in person or joining us online. I think I saw B and Jason Boyd on there. Thank you all for being here as well. As the rector and presiding officer, I call this meeting to order. Bang, bang. The first thing that we need to do is to appoint a clerk to take the minutes for this meeting. We have had the pleasure of having Doris Carpenter with us. Where are you, Doris? There you are. Can you raise your hand, Doris? We love you, Doris. Thank you for filling this important role of writing down the minutes for us, and thank you for being the clerk at this annual parish meeting, which I declare, Doris, now you are the clerk officially, of Annual Parish Meeting 2023. Congrats. Want to say something in terms of procedure. First of all, thanks. We have 20, so I declare that we do have a quorum. Want to make sure that you have the materials that you need for your meeting. You or the neighbor next to you has the Annual Parish Meeting booklet. In that booklet, you will find the agenda items. You will also find the written reports and also the profiles of the vestry members. That was sent out Thursday via email. I hope y'all received that. Hopefully, most of y'all have it here at the meeting today, and it should also be available to those of you who are joining us online. All right, the first thing that we need to do is to approve the minutes. Before we get to this approval, I want to go a little bit over the procedure. So, of course, as the chair, I will call for a motion. I will ask for someone to make the motion. If you make a motion or a second, please do so by saying, C.J. Metters, so moved. All right, state your name loudly and clearly, and then state the motion that you're making. I will try to articulate the motion for you so that it will be easy for you to say so moved. And you can say Vicki Bennett, second, right? Just as an example. Hey, Vicki, good morning to you. So please state your name clearly and then the motion so that it can be heard by the clerk. I will also repeat it to make sure that Doris hears the motion. So let's practice that with the approval of the minutes. You'll find the minutes about halfway down the first page. These are the minutes of the annual parish meeting of 2022 that should be found in your booklet. Want to give y'all just a moment to review those. We're looking for typos. We're looking for incorrect dates, right? We're looking for just those types of errors. If you find them, it'll be okay, all right? We'll make the amendment to the minutes and then we will proceed by voting on the minutes as amended. So just give you a moment to look over those minutes. All right, risky business here. Do I hear an amendment to the minutes? All right, I have a motion from Bob May to accept the minutes as presented. Is there a second? All right, Donna Nigro has got a second. So Bob May with the motion, Donna Nigro with the second. All in favor to approve the minutes? Any opposed? All right. Well done. See, we can do this. All right. We approved the minutes. Thank you for doing that, and thank you for those that made the motion. Great examples. All right. So the next thing that we get to do is the wonderful business of electing a new vestry and leadership to this parish. And the first thing that we're going to do is to elect a new senior warden. And just to give you a little bit of what a senior warden does, the senior warden is the person that works the most closely with me as the rector to be the sounding board and to help me administrate and also to help me in the decisions that come across the desk as a clergy person. And so the senior warden works closely with me as the kind of unofficially the rector's warden. So we have with us this morning and also here present on the screen our one nominee for senior warden, Gordon Stewart. Gordon, I want to thank you for putting yourself up for service in the church. Thank you for your leadership already in the church. All right, and I want to also open up this vote for senior warden as I am obliged to do. I want to make sure that the parish has its opportunity to nominate anyone else that it would like to nominate for senior warden, and we're going to need to begin to pass the ballots out also, Chris. Yes. Question from the floor? Yeah, Joy. Hey, Joy. All right, I have a motion on the floor from Joy May to close the nominations for senior warden and elect Gordon Stewart senior warden by unanimous vote. Do I have a second? Sorry, Tom, are you seconding? All right, thank you. Mary Margaret, are you thirding over there? All right, good. All right, fourthing, right. All right, great. All right. So then, all in favor of accepting the nomination and electing Gordon Stewart as senior warden, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hey, congratulations, Gordon. All right. Chris was especially happy there. All right. Don't worry, Chris. You're not done. I'm going to get to thanking you in a minute. All right. Moving right along, then, we need to elect new vestry members. All right. So in your packet, beginning on the second page, you will see the list of nominees there. Just to give you a little bit of a reminder of what we do on the vestry is primarily, I would say, the keeper of the parish budget, meaning month to month, the vestry reviews the budget and approves the budget as things change, as the in and out of the budget changes, income and expense side of the budget changes. The vestry also works with me as rector in shared leadership over the strategic development of the parish. So where are we going? How are we going to get there? All those kind of questions. And working with committees of the church to be able to ensure that they're functioning well. And so the vestry has a super important role in the life of this parish. and just want to emphasize the two words shared leadership along with me, right? This is not a monarchy by any stretch of the imagination. The vestry works with me to make the decisions of the parish and works with me to approve a budget. And you can't do much without the approval of a budget. So that's the role of the vestry. And I want to introduce our nominees. I'm going to put y'all up on the screen, and if you're here, please stand as well so that we can be sure and recognize you and thank you for putting yourself up for service and leadership in the parish. And our first nominee, Becky Hawkins. Becky, can you please stand for us? Becky, thank you. Yeah, we can go ahead. Yeah, everybody deserves applause for sure. Thank you, Becky, for putting yourself up. All right. Scott Johnson, also. Scott, are you here, Scott? All right. I don't know if Scott's here, but he's here with us maybe online and also certainly spiritually. All right. Thank you, Scott Johnson, for your service, putting yourself up. Renee Mater, who is with her father today in Florida, so I want to thank Renee. I think she's with us online as well, so thank you, Renee, and of course Renee's family as well. Melissa Pringle. Melissa, I see you. Could you please stand? Thank you for putting yourself up for vestry. And Ashley Thomas. Ashley. Hey, there you are. Thank you, Ashley. All right, so this as a procedural note, you can vote if you are 16, all right, 16 years of age. You must be a communicant, which means that you come on Christmas and Easter at least, and you must be in good standing with the treasurer, means you've given a cent or anything more than that to the mission of St. Column's in the past. So known by the treasurer, communicant, and at least 16. If you qualify in those three ways, then please do submit a ballot. I'm going to give y'all just a couple of moments to fill out your ballot. Once you're done, please fold it and hold it up high so that our election committee over here can collect them. Okay? No, just a communicant. Communicant having received communion. So 16, right? Communion twice in the past year and known to the treasurer at any point in your time here. All right, do we have any more outstanding ballots out there to collect? Y'all still working on it? All right, as y'all begin to count over there, I'm going to distract you by thanking you. So we've got some outgoing vestry persons over here, and I'm going to actually make y'all step away and interrupt what you're doing. I know. Y'all look like you're concentrating very hard, and I'm very sorry. But it's important that you are thanked. First of all, Chris, will you step out for a minute? Chris Mink. Many of y'all know Chris. She is a spiritual leader at this church much before I asked her to be a senior warden. Chris, it's been a joy and a privilege to work with you. We've had a lot of great conversations about leadership in the church and how challenging it can be at times, but also how wonderful and rewarding it can be. And so I thank you for all of the good work that you've done in helping us really recover from, go through COVID, right? And then kind of be on the path of recovery and revitalization of this parish. We couldn't have done it without you. Thank you, Chris, very much. We love you. Yeah. I've got a gift to give you, so don't leave without me giving you the gift. All right. I also want to thank Andre Ducote. Come on out here, Andre. All right, there he is. Y'all, we know and love Andre. He's our resident chef. All right. Right. And, hey, Andre, just want to say you're the first vestry member to make it a full 3-year term with me as rector. Yeah, right? The other two left for some reason, but hey, inconsequential, right? You made it. Thank you for making it all the way. Thank you for your commitment to this parish and your vocal leadership in this parish. We love you, Andre. Peace. Yeah. All right, hey, Bethany, come on up. All right, y'all, this is Bethany. Bethany, not only did you help me find a home when I first got here, and I will always love you for that, but you also stepped up when the parish needed you. When we had a gap to fill in the vestry, and you did so willingly, and you did so with wonderful leadership and grace, and I thank you for being with us. I thank you for all of the things that, she's doing so many things right now for St. Columns, and thank you. This one, the page is turned on this one, but I know we're going to continue in a lot of good ways, so thank you. Love you, Bethany. All right, and hey, Renee out there in internet land, we love you too, and I just want to say thank you, Renee. Renee stepped in right in the end of the fourth quarter in terms of being selected from October to help us out on the vestry, right as she was doing parish weekend leadership responsibilities. And y'all know Renee, when she puts her mind to something, right, she's going to do it. She's going to do it 110%. And so I thank you, Renee. Renee has also recused herself from the vestry election process because she's eligible to run and is running now for vestry, of course. And so thank you, Renee, for, again, stepping up at a time when your church needed you. Peace, Renee. Love you. All right. As we continue to tally the first ballot there, I want to refer you to the rector's report and give you my oral report on all things 2022 and also looking ahead to 2023. You'll find it there on page 5. Man, I just want to say, first of all, that 2022 was just an amazing year when you begin to look back on the things that we did together as a parish. It really was an amazing and an important step forward, not only coming back from COVID, I think, but also just in the life of this parish in general. And you know, we just had a wonderful year of growth, both in attendance and in giving. On the attendance side, I'm going to get to this number in a minute, but just want to highlight it now. We had gone from 2021, we had about 89 folks that were coming on an average weekend. That's in between all three services, our 5 o'clock service, our 8 o'clock service, and our 10:30. We had 89 folks that were coming in 2021. In 2022, that number jumped up to 115. And so we're well on the path back to where we were about in 2019. It was about 140, 145 or so. So we're closing that gap, and we're doing so with just a super positive, wonderful atmosphere. You know, last Sunday was just a great example because all it really was the third Sunday after Epiphany. Now, it was the day of our Lord, don't get me wrong. But last Sunday was amazing because, by all accounts, it was just another average Sunday. But it was I don't know if y'all felt it, it was such a positive, wonderful feeling, and the Spirit is with us. And so it's not only just by the numbers, but that feeling and that sense of growth is with us as we've emerged from the pandemic and as we've gathered again. The year began with a really awesome drawdown, and thank you, Robin Gorley, for your work as chair of Drawdown. Last year's Drawdown was just a fun party and a great fundraiser. In fact, we're still dreaming about how we can use all the funds from last year. There's still leftover funds from last year. That's how successful it was. We continued, we had a Lenten series, dinner and a movie, and it was fun, and it was engaging, and it was at times challenging because we had a movie that really pushed us to consider how we're Christians. This Lenten season, we've got another exciting series I'm going to hope to announce to you soon. So it was wonderful and meaningful. At our Easter service, we were able to announce the refinance of our mortgage, which essentially, in the stroke of a pen, erased a decade-long run with a deficit and debt. And so I want to thank Frank and Lauren Benner for being instrumental in doing that. I want to thank Chris and David and all the folks along the way who helped me understand what I was signing as I was signing it. And I just want to thank you for your continued generosity and giving in the parish, which got us to this place. And so that was a wonderful thing to be able to announce at Easter. And then we brought back Vacation Bible School because we now have a wonderful director of Christian formation who is back there. Say, hey, Caroline. Hey, Caroline. There he is. All right. We did some awesome work, and she's bringing in folks from the community and her school to our wonderful programs, and it was a really fun Vacation Bible School over the summer. It was great to see that program back. And then we had a ministry fair. Y'all remember the ministry fair in the fall? That was a lot of fun, and it was a great way to showcase all the things that we do. We've got that booklet now and all the written reports. There's so many awesome ministries at St. Column's that are going on right now. And the ministry fair, showed who the leadership was and gave everybody that comes on Sunday morning a chance to see all of the rest of the things that are going on here at St. Columns. So we're going to continue that ministry fair and hopefully build on its success from last year. Then we had a wonderful parish weekend out at Camp Bratton Green. As we got back to that program, it was another relaxing and fun weekend, lots of football on the TV screen, and then to be able to worship at the outdoor chapel there at Bratton Green, for me, is just a little slice of heaven, and to do it with y'all is even that much more meaningful. And then we've continued the Parish Parish Wednesday programs, which we would like to do in the season of Lent. So we had some Wednesdays, we had some fun with dinner and programs on Wednesday nights in the fall, and we hope to continue that in the spring. And just to talk about the stewardship campaign, in a year when there was inflation and kind of growing economic anxiety, we had the best stewardship campaign we've had in over 10 years. You guys don't cease to amaze me in all the ways that you give and the ways that you exceed the expectations when it comes to giving and being a part of the parish. And then I want to thank Betty Jo. Betty Jo, are you here with us? Betty Jo? Hey, there you are, Betty Jo. Hey, just want to thank you for a wonderful Christmas pageant and bringing the kids together. It was an awesome Christmas Eve service. Life-giving in so many ways, and it was great to see all the kiddos up here singing those songs, so thank you for that. Just to say, we closed out the year, and David's going to give you some more numbers in a minute, but we closed out the year not only having refinanced the mortgage, but then also having a 9% increase in general fund giving over the year. So not only did we owe less, but y'all were giving more. So just so many indicators that 2022 was a very positive year in the life of St. Columns. I want to point out some of these numbers. The first thing I want to do is say, let's have a challenge, all right? I would like to have more baptisms than funerals. I think that's pretty much a good indicator, right, of the way that things need to go in the church. Right now, we're at 4 to 8, 4 baptisms and 8 funerals. So let's get some babies up in here, y'all. However y'all do that, right? Go to Walmart and find a family that's got a baby and say, come to church, whatever. But let's get some baptisms going. We had 4 of them. We had 9 confirmations and receptions. That was a good group and a good day in the life of the church in 2022. We had 3 weddings, 8 funerals. We had 157 in-person services. We're reporting that because, COVID. We're all in person now. And we had 4 new members come in and transfers. These are people that actually went through the process in the parish office of saying, I want to be a full member and transfer my letter. We've had, as you know, a number of people visiting us Sunday to Sunday, and we're trying to move them toward that process to get their letter here. So those are the 4 people that have gone through the formal process of transferring in. And our average Sunday attendance, as I told you, is up from 89 to 115. All right. I think we have a first ballot. Let's see. Almost there. All right. I want to highlight some leadership transitions. And if y'all are here, please stand so that we can acknowledge you and your wonderful service to this church. And again, so many things going on at St. Column's, so many wonderful ministries. We've started meeting as a leadership group we're calling the Parish Council. And in the Parish Council, we've got the vestry, we've got committee chairs, and we've got ministry leaders, those who are leading the ministry. We've got 32 people in parish leadership right now, which is a great group of folks that have decided, I want to do a little bit more, and I want to serve the parish by being a leader here. So thank you to everyone who has stepped up in that way to lead a ministry with us, whether that be in the vestry, on a committee, or in ministry itself. So, of course, I've already thanked the senior warden, and I can't do that enough. But I also want to move on to our worship ministries. And Betty Jo, since you're here, could you please stand, Betty Jo? Betty Jo has been the leader of the Altar Guild ministry for many, I think 2, 3 years, 4 years, somewhere around there, 5. Keep it going, right? A long time. Thank you, Betty Jo, for your service. Your mama wrote the book on the thing, right? And you carried it out dutifully and faithfully. Thank you. And I want to also thank Sharon Stewart for stepping up. Sharon, could you please stand? Here is your new leader of the Altar Guild. Honestly, y'all, if the Altar Guild didn't come in and set things up the way they're supposed to be, I don't know that I could, and we may not have church. So thank you, Altar Guild. All right. Also, in our worship ministries, I want to welcome Quentin Hart. I don't know if Quentin is here with us this morning. If Quentin's not here, you can recognize him by his mustache and his wonderful smile. Quentin has stepped up as the leader of the greeters since Dick Largell passed in that leadership role. And so thank you, Quentin, for filling some big shoes. I know it's going to be tough, but thank you so much for stepping up, Quentin. All right, I want to thank John Passons. John and Mary Eileen here this morning. Hey, John, if you're out there on the internet, we love you, and we thank you for being in leadership as an usher for so many years for us. John would always, train and make sure everyone felt comfortable in their role as usher, and he was always so available to help with me and the different services that we do across the year. So thank you, John Passons, for your role as usher. And is Mr. Reliable here, Tim? There you are, Tim. Hey, Tim McIntyre, thank you so much for stepping up as the new leader of our ushers. Eventually, you're going to have to say no, Tim. Love you, man. Love you. All right. I want to also recognize Gay Townsend. I don't know if Gay is here, but Gay has been our parish wedding coordinator. So whenever we have a wedding, she does that important but difficult role of stepping in as the coordinator, right? Taking on the bridezillas out there in the world, right? And telling them what we do here at St. Column's Parish. I want to thank Gay for that important role. She also, along with Elizabeth, who is our current coordinator, they helped me go through the guidelines that we share with a couple when they first ask us about having a wedding here. We've got those updated, did some important work there. So thank you, Gay, for your service as our wedding coordinator. And thank you to Elizabeth Ducote for stepping up as our new wedding coordinator. All right, I mentioned John, and now I want to mention Mary Eileen for our pastoral care ministries. I don't know if y'all knew this, but Mary Eileen has been taking it on herself. Y'all have heard all the birthdays that come through every week. She's been taking it on herself to write a note to say, happy birthday, we love you at St. Column's for many years now. And doing that week to week, just because, out of the goodness of her heart, she thought that needed to be done. So thank you so much, Mary Eileen, for giving us that personal touch and letting us know that we're loved and our birthday is known. And I want to thank also Gloria Mitchell, Emily George, and Cece Whitehurst for continuing that ministry. Thank you so much. She was here last week, but I don't know if she's with us today. Kay Largell, we love you, Kay, so much. And you have been such a wonderful, if y'all ever have a chance to sit down one-on-one with Kay, she's a great counselor, a wonderful and thoughtful spiritual person, just a great person to sit down with and speak with. and she's been through a lot in her life, and she's able to help you go through with what you're going through in your own. So I want to thank Kay for her work in the grief group and that work done with Gus Schreiber as well, and want to thank her for her leadership there as she steps away from that and the Welcome Inclusion Committee. Thank you, Kay, for your many years of service to us and for your loving spirit. Whew, that one got to me a little bit. And then I also want to thank Gus again. Thank you, Gus, and thank Chris. And I want to thank also Barbara Moore for their ministry, pastoral ministry in the Stephen ministry, which is a ministry for those who are going through a period of grief at the loss of a loved one. Thank you for stepping up as a Stephen minister. I know y'all are still available as a pastoral presence to us, even if that ministry is no longer with us, but thank you for your time with that ministry. All right, I'm going to pause my report and announce to you that after one ballot, we have elected a new vestry. We've elected 3 new folks to serve a full 3-year term. All right, so congratulations to Becky Hawkins, Scott Johnson, and Melissa Pringle. And thank you to Renee and Ashley for putting your name up. And hey, look, it just means that there's other leadership opportunities, right, on the horizon. There's plenty to do. Thank you so much for putting yourselves up. All right. All right, I want to continue with acknowledging transitions in leadership. And I want y'all to know that Brooks Derryberry, whether he's here or not, his voice is always with me because I can't get him to stop talking. Love you, Brooks. But Brooks has been serving us faithfully for the past couple of years as our church safety committee leader. And he's responsible, along with Chris McMillan, for helping us get our buildings shored up. And we brought the fire department in recently to make sure everything's working as it should. Our locks are all locking and all those things, and we've got a wonderful security camera system installed since then. So they've been doing just an example of as soon as we got that committee going, they were blowing and going. They were doing some really good work and have been. So thank you, Brooks, for all your leadership there. Hey, and Brooks has announced he's got a co-chair with him now, Alicia Ferguson, who's another one of those that is just a wonderful leader in our parish. Alicia, thank you. She was in the background making sure all the work was happening, and now she's ascended. So thank you. Can you see her? She's ascending over there, right? Thank you, Alicia. All right, and a big thank you also to Kristen Gwynn. She has been the committee chair for our communications committee. You see all the walk in love, that tagline and the new logo and all those wonderful things that we have, the T-shirts. She really spearheaded that effort and made sure that we knew who we were and our core values as a church, and really came up with a wonderful tagline along with the committee. So thank you to Kristen for all her hard work. And thank you to Chris Brady. Look at him over there. Hey, Chris Brady. We love you, Chris. Oh, Vicky's standing up for you over here, Chris. There you go. All right, so we love you, man, and thank you for serving in this new role as the committee chairman of our communications. You're kind of doing the thing you're already doing, but I appreciate you very much. All right. Let's see. Let's move on to we have a membership ministry here, and I want y'all to know about that. This is something we're going to try to emphasize this year in 2023. Our members, in trying to get everybody a little bit more involved to take the next step in parish involvement. And so when it comes to our membership committee, Daylene Grant has agreed to help us in our newcomer ministry. So that means everything from the little cards that you see in front of you there on the pew to help and greet and make sure that information is passed along when we have somebody new that visits. So thank you, Daylene, for helping us dream from that newcomer committee. And we're looking for new leadership in our membership ministries. We're looking for somebody to help us with parish involvement and to help us with parish records. So if you know somebody that's really good at going through a bunch of records and doing that kind of administrative work and really thrives in that environment, please let us know, because we're going to be doing that. And I want to thank Caroline Ducote for helping us with that. She did a lot in parish records in 2022. All right, let's see. And then rounding out our ministries, I want to thank Ashley Thomas. She's going to be Caroline's assistant in Christian formation. Ashley, thank you so much. We love you. All right, and I want to thank Jim Woodrick, who is doing so much. He's the president of the standing committee for another couple of days, and he's also been helping us with parish life, but has stepped down to make room for a new person there. Thank you, Jim, for your help in parish life. For your pub quiz questions, all right, you're good at that, and many other things too, but you're a good pub quiz designer, so thank you for that. And I want to thank Rebecca Grant, who has stepped up in that role. Thank you, Rebecca, for helping us with parish life. All right, and then finally, last but certainly not least, I want to thank Melanie McKinley, who's over here, our ECW president, outgoing ECW president. Please stand, Melanie, so we can give you some love. Thank you, Melanie. And I want to thank Emily Williams. Where are you, Emily, for stepping up as the new ECW president? All right, and to round out my report, I just want to say that looking ahead to 2023, I'm really excited about all the things that we've put into place. Chris is going to tell you a little bit more about some of the things that we've got in place to move forward in just a moment. But my great hope is that we'll continue to see growth, and not only for growth's sake, but that more people will come to know Jesus through the mission and ministry of St. Column's, because I believe that we love and care for one another as a family, and that there's room in the tent for that love to grow. And so not only for the numbers, I mean, we know that we're financially healthy right now, so there's not as much pressure on us to grow in order to find more givers, but just for the sake of loving one another and bringing God's love into the world, would love to see these pews filled like they were on Christmas Eve each and every Sunday. So let's all do our part to make sure that that the love is known from St. Column's. And I hope that you know that as we make a push, and you've probably seen a lot of our push is to put ourselves out there in the world. I'd love to be on a billboard. We're not quite there yet. But we've been making a push to make sure everybody out there knows who we are. I want to also assure you that we want to take care of you. I want to take care of you as your chief pastor. I want to be sure that you feel loved and cared for. So, if you've got anything, I want you to know, y'all pay for my cell phone, all right? You should know that, right? In the budget, you pay for my cell phone, which means you can call me whenever. You can call me at 4 in the morning if you need to, just to check and make sure I'll answer, right? That's the kind of relationship we got going here, and it's important to me to be your pastor, and it's important to me that you feel pastorally cared for. So please know that even as we turn our eyes outward to bring more people in, I want to be sure we don't lose sight of y'all and all the wonderful things that you do in your own lives. All right, that concludes my report, and I'm going to turn it over to Chris Mink, who's going to give us an outgoing senior warden report.
Good morning again. Basically, all I want to do is to kind of break down. You've heard him mention the different committees and the ministries and what we created this year. Thank you. Is that better? Okay, sorry. We've created something called the Parish Council. And all that really is the group of people who are leading ministries coming together to kind of enhance communications. And we've got so much going on at St. Column's. I mean, we've got a lot that in order to streamline communication a little bit, and nobody gets left out, and to minister to the needs of the ministries, we've created this setup, so to speak, to help streamline all that. And this is basically how it works. It's got Parish Council is all the leaders of any ministry, whether it's like Joy to ECW to Men's Club. So if you are in charge of a ministry, you're part of the Parish Council. And under this parish council, we have broken it down into seven, seven different groups or committees, kind of to streamline, again, communication so we kind of know where everybody fits. So that helps later, too, for everybody. If you know somebody who may be outgoing and stuff, then you can you'll know where they'll fit also in this parish council. I know I'm going to make it a lot more complicated than it is. So we've got worship committee, we've got pastoral care committee, operations committee, membership committee, outreach, Christian formation, and parish life. So all the ministries will fit under one of those headings. And we have committee chairs. So that's someone who's kind of head of or the shepherd. We have vestry, let me back up. Vestry shepherds are those that are ministering to the committee chairs. So you've got these committees, and vestry is helping with the leader of each committee. And that committee leader is in charge of the ministries under them in charge. That's very loosely in charge. But there's someone that the ministry, Joy, I can go to Caroline and say, hey, you know what, we want to do a book study. Do you think we could maybe have the vestry support us in that? You know, and then she could take that to her vestry shepherd, and that can be brought up. So things don't just get dropped. You know, these ministries have, I mean, they are the backbone of what we do here. That they are people who run these ministries. They really do make up who we are. And so we want to just take care of them. We want to be available to them, and we want to support them in any way we can. And so to keep things from getting dropped and lost, this is the reason for the parish council, to kind of streamline communication so we can kind of take better care of each other. That's just a very brief outline of it. But I just wanted you to know we started this last spring, and it's still kind of a work in progress. And I just wanted you to also be familiar with that term, parish council. You'll probably be hearing it more often, committee chairs. And all those are the same people we all know and love who are just, we've given them a title, kind of, in order for them to kind of streamline communication. So when you're in the ministry, you know who you need to talk to, and then they can get to the people that need to help you with it. And honestly, it also will help CJ not have to remember so much. You know, you don't, if everybody goes to CJ and says, hey, would you make this announcement? Or, hey, we need this, or hey, that. It's hard to remember all that. So if we go through that, the parish council and the committee chairs, it will really help the ministries to get more of what they want. So that's that. The other thing I'd like to say is just thank you. You know, this has been a unexpected 2 years. I never thought I'd ever be a senior warden, and it has just been wonderful. I've worked with just the best vestry. These people on this vestry, y'all, I mean, they love St. Columns. We have differing opinions, which have balanced our vestry really well. They are so respectful, but the focus has always been what's best for St. Columns. And I'm just so honored to work with such a group of people that just love doing what they're doing. And they love this church. So, and I know those that are coming on are just going to carry that further. And I can't wait to see where this church is going to go. I mean, in a year or 2 years, we're just now coming back into who we are. You know, with all this pandemic stuff, we're really beginning to catch fire and go. So I'm excited to see what happens, and I thank you all so much for giving me the opportunity to do what I've done for the past 2 years. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Chris. Just wanted to let y'all in on a little bit of the sausage making process, just so you know that we're doing it in the first place, but also know that we got some organization and structure happening. If you're not in that structure right now, you want to be a part of leadership, it'll be easy for you to step in and be a part of it and know where you go. All right, the next thing we have is our wonderful, I can't emphasize this enough. Let me say this, the treasurer of a church. Man, I tell you what, it is quite a job. It is, you know, in terms of volunteer ministry and church work, it is maybe the heaviest load that there is. And my friend David does it so well. He's the numbers guy, but he's also a wonderful consultant and a good friend and an awesome parishioner as well. Thank you, David, for your hard work as treasurer. Come on up here, man. As he's coming up, I refer y'all to page 7, where you can find David's report. Page 7 of your booklet, and you'll find the treasurer's report.
Thank you. Any questions? I really can't add anything to the stuff that CJ has said already. We thank everyone for the generous gifts that we've received all year long. Thanks to the folks that helped us with the refinancing. It really made the difference. It made the difference this year and will make a difference at least for the next 15 years, which is the life of the mortgage. It makes the church just a lot more comfortable to be in from that. Okay. Well, I'm through. No questions? Yep, one question. CJ? 84. 84. So that's, we usually run about 100, but there's still some coming in. So we're very good. The budget this year, for 23 is, I think, $541,000, which is just a slight increase over the prior year. So we're comfortable. It is a conservative budget, I promise. So I don't think there'll be any problem in making it next year. And we probably will do better than what's written here, unless something happens to the spending side of things. So if no questions, a guide, if anybody that happens to own a pocket protector, we've got some details out on the desk out front. You're welcome to see what happened last year. So thanks.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you, David. And to Bob, answer your question, 84 pledge units, but the average pledge went up, obviously, to get us at an overall amount, that's been higher than any other point in a decade. So, again, thank you to everyone. Y'all continue to amaze me when it comes to giving. All right, and also be sure to thank all the folks that don't make a pledge, but every Sunday put something in the plate or send something in to us, because there's plenty of those as well. So every gift counts and every gift matters. All right, I believe that we have come to the end of our time in the parish meeting. Okay, Kathy says that this is what you do in vestry too, right? Didn't tell me you want to report, but it's time to report. Come on up here, Kathy, we love you.
God always knows where people should be in their lives. And it's if we're listening. And so he listened, because I can't think of a better place for this man to be than right here at St. Columb, CJ and his family. So thank you for all that you have done and all that you will do. Thank you.
Man, okay, thank you. Thank you. I still got a service to do here, y'all. Come on now. Be an emotional mess. You're going to have to sit through a sentimental sermon. It's going to be so awkward. Anyway, thank you, Kathy. I appreciate those words very much, and I appreciate y'all so much. And I know that the Holy Spirit called us to be together, and I feel it every day. So thank you. If there is no further business, then I would entertain a motion for the 2023 annual parish meeting to be adjourned. I see Jim. All right. Jim Woodrick moves to adjourn. All right. Tom beat you to it, actually. Sorry. All right. We got a second from Tom. So motion from Jim to adjourn, second from Tom. All in favor? Any opposed? Right? Okay. Thank y'all. Go in peace to love and serve the Lord. No one is allowed to leave. The door is locked. Not really.